Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Firefighters podcast, where we seek to develop, inspire, and motivate the world of the emergency services operator through a series of wide-ranging conversations. Now, before we go any further, just hit that rate, follow, or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to. It's a key performance indicator for us and helps us reach even more people. Now, here's what we've got for you today. Today, I'm welcoming back to the podcast a good friend, brother from another mother, one of the most respected, and I think nicest guys on the Firefighter Challenge circuit, who also just happens to be the best in the world at it. It's Brad Dix. Brad's FireFit world record holder, multiple time world and Canadian champion, and Firefighter Combat Challenge king of the jungle. And in the last 6 to 8 months-ish, he's crowned world firefighter champion, and he set, I think, 2 new world records. And now when you hear all that, it's easy just to see the results. But many of his runs are not the perfect run. Even the world records before them weren't perfect runs. I mean, in his qualifying attempt, things didn't go to plan. There was kit issues. There was mistakes. There was things with his masks. A performance that, in his own words and standards, just wasn't there. And that's, I think, the bit most people never see, because at that level, one small error can literally cost you everything. But instead of folding and getting stuck in his head, he adapted, he learned, adjusted, and stayed at the top. And I'm starting to think that is what separates the best, because this conversation isn't really just about medals or records. It's about everything underneath them. Yes, the mindset. Yes, the discipline. The pressure of being the one people expect to win. And that kind of stood out to me, how grounded Brad has stayed through all of this. He really, really honestly, and it will come across, you've heard him before, is there's no ego. There's no sense of I've made it, I'm king of the castle. Just someone who's still learning, still refining, still showing up. And he seems so calm and intentional about it. We talk about the environment around him and how meticulous he is about that. You know, the incredible people that he trains with, the standards they hold each other to, but how you build high performance without burning out in the process. Because we've all been sold this idea that more is better, more effort, more volume, more grind, the David Goggins world. But this conversation kind of challenges that, because I think real high performance isn't chaotic. It's calm, it's controlled, it's deliberate. There's less hurry, there's more intention. Have we been sold that there is only one way to be elite? All in, no balance, no let up, foot on the gas. Maybe that's not true. Maybe there's multiple ways to reach the top. And maybe the ones who stay there are the ones who build it in a way they can actually sustain. I'll see you on the other side. Mate, I've been loving watching everything grow over there, and just you guys and girls going from strength to strength. I always think of you guys as like continually climbing, like never coasting, and just seem to be pushing the ceiling of the beloved sport, but not just in a way that is bleeding knuckles, cognitive horsepower, all go, no quit, no time for family. You guys don't do it that way. It is such, it obviously doesn't look effortless. Obviously not, but it looks continually fun. It doesn't have some dark dungeon approach to performance, because breaking the ceiling of, the 110 barrier, that just seems so unreal to so many other people. Was it like a gradual shift, or has this last year been very intentional for you?
I think it's been building for sure. Yeah, we've been accumulating. We've been kind of building the bases that are the blocks to just have a really solid foundation as a team, and as a community in general with FireFit. I think the training has always been there. Carla, Dave, and I have always had a lot of fun training, and we've just built an atmosphere around culture of having fun, and that's the foundation we go for. And then the coaching aspect from Edmonton guys like Jordan King, he's been doing this for 20 years. He just brings a wealth of knowledge to it. And then also just a lot of the guys at the top have no ego. So being able to talk to them and kind of get all their secret training trips and incorporate that into what we've been doing has been such a huge asset to, getting us to where we are today.
But you must feel like it must be so hard to find these marginal gains now, because you're at the 0.2% of marginal gains, and it's so reliant on everything else being almost seamless now. We're beyond the finalities of perfection. We're looking for something that's almost way beyond that, which for me, I don't know if I just don't have enough patience to spend so much time looking on those Do you know what I mean? Which takes you from the good to great. And that's probably why I'll never be great at any one particular thing. I'm the master generalist.
Yeah.
But you guys, like, not easier, but is a massive enabler part of the fact that there is such a community around it? Because we often
Yes.
like glorify, or we like to paint an illusion of this one person who is just sacrificing everything and they are the Lone Ranger out in front. The David, like, you don't see David Goggins' team. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Everyone
exactly.
must assume, like, who do you think's recording him running down the road? He's
Yeah.
not doing it himself, is he? Do you know what I mean? But like, you guys are very clearly, this is a movement that's happening there.
It 100% is. And I think we said last time that it's like an individual record, but a team effort. And I think it's so true. Every race I run, I'll get like, a couple dozen text messages congratulating me if I break a record or win a championship or something. But then I'll also get 10 or 12 messages being like, hey, you did like this wrong in your race. You could have brought like the rope over in one last pull. You could have like turned tighter on your way down.
Mm,
And that's all coming from a place of love of people wanting to see me do better. And if it
mm,
wasn't for like Dave, Carl, and Nikita, my team, I wouldn't be training nearly as much as I am. So those people push me to like get out and do like the work that you don't want to do, that it's easy to skip a couple sets or a couple reps if nobody's watching. But those people are holding me accountable in the off season. And then in season, yeah, the whole FireFit community is just so supportive. And with all the new energy coming in, it's just like it's really exciting to see. And yeah, it's fun. It's something I want to be doing. It doesn't seem like work.
Is that the feedback you were looking for? Because when you sent me for some feedback, I said, like, open your shirt up before you take a photo. And I didn't realize you were looking for, like, right,
Yeah, no,
okay.
I always appreciate what you have to say, but
I thought
whenever I'm
that's what you were
texting you,
looking for.
no, no, well,
I
I
thought it was
was.
like, your hair looked good. I thought you looked so hot, but I was like, let's show some skin, baby. Let's tease. Come on. Don't be so,
I come
hey,
to you for the ego boost, you know?
number one sales tip, right? Come on,
Yeah,
let's, I thought I'm right. That's okay. You need to be clearer with it though, because
that's my fault
how can I
again,
help? That,
This
well,
is a
I'm
good
just saying,
critique.
let's be honest. Okay. It's all
Well,
right. You'll get there.
I appreciate it.
So yeah, I mean, the tip of the sword stuff that's going on there is incredible, but I want to zoom out for a second because before we got started here, I know we were talking about, um, a lot of the stuff that's happening in the firefighter health and wellbeing stuff without getting professional and corporate. But I wonder if this is kind of like a lag measure of what is a lead measure and how much is being prioritized in health and well-being and firefighter longevity in your corner of the world, because there's actually a lot being done by your organizations, which I wonder if those foundations is like the whole community, even outside of the FireFit, Fire Sport, World Firefighter Games weirdos. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It seems to be something that maybe everybody's moving towards, and maybe that's sort of like an amplifier for this as well.
I can only speak to my department, but in
Mhm.
Strathcona, they've done like a phenomenal job of pushing health, wellness, um, and everything in that regard. We follow the W5 program, which is set up by the NFPA, and management has full on endorsed it. They're very supportive of it to the point where they will send us to get our blood work. They'll bring people into the station, do our blood work and our ECGs, and then on shift, send us off to go meet with the doctor, do a full body scan to see if there's any kind of melanomas or skin cancers developing. They go through all your blood work with you. It's like probably a 2 hour process. So you're meeting with these doctors, doing spirometry tests, doing hearing tests, doing vision tests, and then they keep these for your entire career. So I can have a benchmark of when I first got hired to where I am now, and see any improvements or any kind of red alerts that are kind of popping up. So it's already caught a bunch of cancers for people that I work with that have been
Mhm.
on for 10, 15, 20 years. They found tumors, they found lots of things. So it's been a super beneficial thing from the medical side of things. And
Mhm.
we've started implementing a fitness test as well. Totally optional, non-punitive, but they have two exercise physiologists that work with us. They come
Mhm.
in, they do testing. It's about an hour and a half process. And I think it's just awesome to show that the department's serious about setting the standard for fitness and saying this is something that we are taking seriously now.
So I'm surprised they weren't ever scared of ramifications of identifying these tumors, cancers, because I feel like some organizations might be worried about ripping the bed sheets off and seeing what's underneath, if you know what I mean. Because in certain cultures, like our American colleagues, there's a big suing, claiming kind of culture. The World Health Organization declaring firefighting a carcinogenic profession. And I'm saying this as like a backhanded compliment. It's like, they obviously haven't been as worried about people trying to sue the organization for these things.
Definitely not. That's, in my opinion, that's not really a thing so much in Canada.
Good.
We're not as litigious as they are in the States. I mean, from my perspective, the States.
Nice word.
And thank you. It took me a while to find that one. I was really digging.
That's the thesaurus on the wall behind.
That's
just gonna pick them out.
But no, like in Alberta specifically, our provincial union representation has got us presumptive care for cancer coverage. Okay. So if you've been I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say you've been a firefighter for 10 years and you get breast cancer or testicular cancer, they're going to assume that's from the job. So it's like, if we can find that earlier and start treating you earlier, then it's just more beneficial for the employee as well as the employer, and then hopefully get you back to the floor after your treatment. So they're very progressive in that regard.
So you said it already, but break it down slowly for me again, because I want to go through them all step by step. So you see the doctor, and what tests do they carry out specifically? Because I know Carla's was an example of this, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you'll do the blood work first, and that's just like a full general blood work.
Do you get your hormones back from that?
You don't, but you can just do that through your GP if you'd like to.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just a general kind of blood work, so lipids, sugars, kidney function, liver function, kind of everything, just like a broad spectrum thing. Mm-hmm. You meet with the physician. He goes over all your blood work. And then I think it's every 5 years, you get a chest x-ray as well. And then you get tested for heavy metals. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you go sit down with the doctor. The visit with the doctor himself is probably about an hour, where he goes through all your blood work, does a full physical exam. And then you go to a nurse, you do like a lung function test, you do a hearing test, you do all your mask fittings again, you do vision test, and I believe that's it.
That's comprehensive.
Very much so, yeah. And they're awesome physicians that they have working for them. If there's any red flags or anything that comes up, they send it directly to your GP, and then you can follow up with them and get referrals to anything you need. And yeah, it's just like another view on your general health and fitness. And this is just like one of the many things that our department is doing for us, including like peer fitness trainers, peer support teams for mental health. And yeah, it's been really cool the things they're doing.
William Wood Watches are back supporting the podcast, and honestly, it means a lot to me because this brand is built on real service heritage. William Wood was the name of the founder's grandfather. He served 25 years in the British Fire Service at Pilgrim Street in Newcastle and Gateshead Fire Brigade on Blue Watch. He earned commendations for bravery and leaving a lasting legacy that really still drives the brand today. Whether it's the melting down of the original 1920s British brass firefight helmets, and they're building them into the actual case backs. And they also use upcycled fire hose on all of their straps. It's not just design, it's about the job, and it's built into every single component. I've been wearing them for 10 years now. Found them back in 2015 actually, and they've genuinely been a part of my daily kit ever since. I've got two. I've got the Valiant and I've got the Chivalrous as well in midnight blue. But the thing about the brand, about William Wood Watches, it stands so different because of its story. Take, for example, their Dunkirk watch. That's not just a timepiece. It's actually built to honour the Massey Shore fireboat. And that vessel actually helped save over 600 troops during the Dunkirk evacuation in World War II. And if you own one of the Dunkirk watches, right, your name is engraved onto the plaque on the Massey Shore itself. So you're not just wearing history, you're actually becoming part of it yourself. I'll be honest though, the one I've got my eye on this year is the Fearless watch. It's more of like a field watch on the station, on the watch. It's a smaller 39mm case, compact, rugged, just feels right for the job. If you're in about quality, you get a full 3-year warranty, and they've got service centres in the UK, North America, Asia, and it's Great Britain's #1 watch manufacturer on Trustpilot. And it's not just me who rates it. Here's a few words from the powerhouse actor Russell Crowe. No, this is not AI. This is actually Russell Crowe's words. And you can even see it on their website. There's a video of him.
His grandson, Johnny Garrett, decided to make some watches, and one of his concepts was to use decommissioned firefighting equipment. So he's used the brass from British firefighting helmets, some of them like 100 years old, to build his watch cases. And he's used decommissioned fire hose for his straps. Right? This is the Triumph Jubilee. A bit of fun thing on the back. It says, in case of fire, break glass. But it's a handsome watch and it fits really well on the wrist. It wears beautifully.
So Russell loves it, and I know you're going to love it too. You can actually get 10% off a William Wood watch by using code FFPodcast. Let's get back to the show. Has it thrown anything up for you? Has it given you any like personal reflections on pivots that you could do? Because when you said like, you know, blood sugars and kidney function and stuff like that, I mean, cardiac issues is the number one killer, unfortunately, of firefighters or cardiac related events. But I think diabetes and stuff, because of, you know, poor sleep, but obviously tremendous amount to do with diet, seeing that massively on the rise in all of society, to be honest. But certainly like we're a lag effect of that because of our habits and our eating and our sleep as well.
Well, personally, it has helped me out already. It's been flagging that I have a low GFR. So it's like a kidney function diagnostic.
Okay.
And what happens is basically because I take a lot of creatine, eat a lot of protein, and train really hard, my kidneys are acutely working. This test is picking up that my kidneys are working pretty hard to deal with all that stuff. However, if I stop taking the creatine and get my blood work after a few rest days, then it comes back to normal function. So I did.
Do you cycle your creatine? And if so, how much do you take?
I'm like 5 to 7 grams daily, just every day.
That's not a lot.
No cycling. No, not really. No.
I take 18 grams a day, which is probably too much.
Well, I don't know. There's benefits to both, right? I think like the higher doses they give you, they say it is better for neurological function, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I'm just trying to stack the deck in my favor. Yeah. So, you know, that's why I miss a lot of other stuff. I'm relatively inconsistent with other sort of like multivitamins and stuff like that, which I probably should take. I'm fairly slack on them, but creatine's the one thing I travel with. We don't have a creatine partner. I'm not bloody promoting anything here. We don't even have anyone work with. But I do. We probably should get one. I need to hunt one out. Let's do that together. Let's get a. Do you have a partner? Do you have anyone? You're the fittest dude on the planet in terms of firefighter fitness. You must have a partner of some form, a sponsor.
Not really. No proper sponsorship,
dude.
I'm looking for some. So if you know anybody,
you are seriously missing out there. You're too busy turning up for the vibes. That's your problem, brother. Yeah, you need to be getting on this.
Yeah, I know. I'm not really.
I'm trying to flog a dead horse as like a half-fit firefighter that used to take too many drugs. You're actually like a good product for them to align with.
I would say that like training division has been like the best support for me. They've been just really accommodating, letting me like fly down and do like training courses down. I should probably mention this. They have the FireFit tower set up down there in Texas.
So you've got the year-round training now, haven't you?
Yeah. So that's pretty sweet. So they've partnered with FireFit. They have the whole course set up down there. So it's minus 30 degrees up here and 3 feet of snow. We can fly down there and do some training. So it's been a phenomenal facility. They're a great school. And I'd say that's probably my biggest like sponsor because they help me train as much as they possibly can.
Why, do they actually like support you with the flights and stuff?
If I'm like going down there to like run a training camp or something like that, then there's discussion of that stuff. Yeah.
Do you run training camps for other firefighters and FireFit now?
I am.
Because I know I saw some stuff on the socials around coaching.
Yes.
And all of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what we'll be doing
because you left April... that really late.
Yeah. Probably not my best.
Because there's people with significantly less like medals than you who have been coaching for a long. There's a few people in the UK. I haven't got any medals who are coaching people how to do it. They're coaching people how to do something they've never done, which I thought was really interesting. Whereas you seem to have left this a long time. You could have been coaching people 5 years ago, but it's great that you finally started doing some of that.
I'm kind of realizing in this conversation that I'm not a great business person, like no sponsors. And then I have a diploma in personal training. I have a history of fitness. Like you said, a couple of medals here and there. And I haven't really been doing the coaching thing. I do it on the side for my friends and stuff, but maybe this will be the big announcement is like, if you're interested in getting some FireFit coaching or fire athlete coaching, reach out to me at Picks by Dicks on Instagram and we'll make something happen.
We'll smash that. I mean, I've got 10-meter swimming badge, right? I don't like to bring it out much. I have got it on the fridge because we every now and again we celebrate it. But I think I should start coaching some because there's people that can't swim 2 meters and I can do the full 10. No armbands.
That's very impressive.
You know what? But I don't like to talk
flotation
about it.
Device? Or?
Well, no, it doesn't really matter, does it, Brad? But I'm just saying I have done it because I've got a certificate. So, and there's people that can't do it. So
you're putting in perspective for me right now.
Exactly. Like you might be here, but there are people that I could help improve in that element of it. So we're all different, Brad. Let's not overdo it too much. Do you think this year-round Texas training is a way of like probably creating some super athletes? Because it's like a distilling process. And once you get, they say the average of the 5 people you spend most time with, and if you can continue to up the game about the people that you're spending your time around, then it's that kind of rising tide raises all the ships. And I imagine this is exactly that, because versus someone like me giving you feedback on the course, it's just like it's people that they've almost trained themselves through so many mental filters of what good looks like. So that they're looking through so many lenses already because they've seen thousands of these courses run and hundreds of medals won, that sort of feedback is really, really critical.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what Brad, the owner, Training Division, is really going for with this. It's a two-parter. One is that we have a whole bunch of students running through that school, and they have the opportunity to train on the FireFit course. So then when they hit the fire department, they already have, run the course 2 or 3 times, feel a lot more comfortable with it, more comfortable joining the FireFit team, helping them grow, and also just like feeling more, a part of the community earlier on in the career. And then the second thing is, they're willing to host people to fly down there, train there for as long as they want within the open windows they have. They can stay at the facility for free, have access to the kitchen, use whatever they need. It's just like, it's an awesome opportunity, and another thing that just like gives me so much energy for the season moving forward. And like you said, it's like we have people from all over the world coming. So we have people all over North America, Ecuador, and like a crew from New Zealand is flying to Texas to train. It's just like awesome. And the people that are doing that, they're already putting the work in at home. And I see them coming to this camp as like kind of like refining the last couple details before the season starts. So they're already like, they probably have a ton of things that they can teach me. So I'm super excited about that opportunity as well.
It's going from good to great, isn't it? I mean, we had Duarte Mendez over this year for the first time to embarrass everybody on the British Firefighter Challenge course, which he did emphatically. I mean, he didn't embarrass everybody. Matt Adams was like neck and neck with him right up until the last. And this is it, like right up until we got to the hose roll, our hose makeup, and Duarte just pulled out a different technique that gained him like 2 and a bit seconds, if not slightly more. I mean, it gained him like 6 meters because of the way that he effectively flaked it and did a quick bit in his hand first. But it wasn't a fitness breakthrough. It was a reframing of how to roll the hose effectively. Not something you necessarily do operationally, but it was a massive technique insight that you went, well, you never could have got there through fitness because it's not what that is. Do you know what I mean? 100%. You couldn't keep mashing that button harder and harder and harder because that's not where you were going to find the insight. But this guy came over, and I'll bet this year as we start kicking off the UK Challenge Series, you'll see that emerging. I've tried it quite a few times, well, lots of times on stations, and it's heavily reliant on the age of the hose. And it's just how malleable it is. Because you can't get away with it. It involves picking up the lug and spinning it around your other hand 2 or 3 times. And obviously, if it's not nice and soft, which a lot of the British Firefighter Challenge hoses are, because they don't get used for anything other than that. But if you get a rigid, quicker Duraline one, or one that's had any kind of fixes done to it, if it's ever had any patchwork on it, and you catch it in the wrong spot, it will create like a solid block, which will trap your fingers. But even when you get it wrong, having timed it, when you get it wrong, it's still faster, if that makes sense. Even if the lug falls out. When are you going to come over to the UK and like set the standard? Because we're at that point now. We've got 10 regionals, and like you running a training course and doing a competition at the same time. I'll bet the challenge community would all chip together, chuck a bloody £100 in each or whatever, and get you over it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I mean, right now it's just getting time off work.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like the schedule packs up so quickly. Like this year, I went to Vietnam with my dad for 2 weeks.
I saw that.
It was amazing. And then came back. Now we have this training camp coming up in April. And then we're going to Germany for 2 weeks in May, June for the European FireFit Championships.
Intershirts, I'll see you there.
Yeah. Then we got Calgary when we get back from that. And then it's off to Fredericton for Nationals and FireFit Worlds in September. and then Vegas for FCC Worlds, and then head back to Saudi Arabia, hopefully, if everything goes well there.
Oh, well,
So,
you'll be there. Yeah, World
we'll
Firefight
see.
Games. Christ, we'll come on to that one in a minute. But yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. It does get to that point, and I'm different but similar in ways. Like some of the weird and wonderful adventures you get invited to. The flip side of that, unfortunately, is it's also a massive amount of time from your family. You're losing a lot on annual leave. Your service organisation will be supportive to an extent, and that's not that they're not being supportive, but it's also that's not the core part of your role.
Yeah.
Unless, and if you saw it anyway, you might see it in an American sort of setup or your setup where you might end up getting full-time firefighter athletes. I don't know. But if they don't do it soon, you'll be too old.
Exactly.
You know,
That's the
no one will
problem.
be interested in a few years. But there's younger one. Is Duarte younger than you?
Who's that, sorry?
How dare you?
The Portuguese guy?
Duarte Mendes.
Yeah.
Is he younger than you?
I think we're in the same age category. I think he might be a little bit younger, yeah.
I think he's a little bit younger. I don't know
We're
how
the same
much
age. So if he's younger than us, then yeah.
Yeah, you look a lot younger than me, though. I always forget that we're the same age.
Baby-faced.
You are baby-faced. Mine's too much wear on them tires.
You've just done so much more with your life.
I'm trying to. You ever thought of the concept of outliving someone? And what I mean by that is not living longer than them. It's outliving them. Do you know what I mean? Being so intentional with the time. Like this last 6 months, I've got more done than I did in the previous 12 to 18 months. And likewise again. But with all of that comes sort of hidden sacrifices. So like when you talk about going and doing the training, you know, at Texas, how do you square that circle of continuing to put yourself around different people, arguably higher performing in the niche that you're trying to get better at, and not leaving other people behind? Because greatness probably comes with a number of quiet goodbyes, whether they're intentional or unintentional. You have to keep doing that to keep pushing yourself, though.
I think it's just finding the value in everybody that you want to surround yourself with. So maybe somebody's not contributing as much as like giving me tips to get a better squat, but they are like providing emotional support in some other way. So it's like still a lot of value from them, but maybe not in the way that's directly feeding into a tangible benefit of the FireFit course.
But that's what I mean. Then you'll arguably be spending less time with them. And if it's someone that is just like, hey, bro, like, you know, I haven't seen you at the club in ages, or, you know, should we go for coffee every Sunday? And you're like, every Sunday? Every Sunday? That's a big commitment, you know, but a lot of people do that though. I wonder if it's just completely unconscious that you sometimes just drift away from those people. It has been for me until I hear from someone like ages ago and they'll be like, mate, I haven't seen you in ages. And you're like, yeah, like I'd completely forgotten. And it can make you feel like a bit of a dick. Makes me feel like a dick sometimes.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. It's, I mean, I feel like just having a family does that to you anyways, right? Like your priorities totally shift. And then I think that's a bit more
That's an easier excuse though.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like easier to be like, yeah, kids, wife, you know, the whole thing.
Just use the kids as an excuse.
Always.
Again, you know, goddamn kids. Yeah. That's sometimes a benefit with the fire service as well. Like if your partner says like, oh, can we do this? Or a friend go, I'm on shift. Wait, what do we do? You know, it's the job, isn't it? Because no one really knows when we're working and when we're not working in the fire service. So they know it's not a normal job. So you can kind of say you're on a night shift, even if you won't. Not that you do that, but I have certainly used it.
Well, my wife's a shift worker too, so it's tough to really sell that one to her. Unfortunately, it means like if she's at work, I'm taking care of the kids and vice versa too. So we're pretty, our hands are pretty tied most of the time.
I wanted to ask you about the King of the Jungle stuff. So what is King of the Jungle? How does that fit into FireFit, and how does it compare to World Firefighter Games, and what's the connections kind of between all of them?
It's a very good question. I don't really know what the origin of that is. It's just like, what I'm thinking is that Lion Fire Gear sponsors the FCC.
Okay.
So they have the Lions Den and all that stuff. And then they give the award of King of the Jungle to the fastest male and fastest female at Worlds.
Okay.
So I think that's like the origin of it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Isn't that just another award for the person that's already got the award for being the fastest though?
Yeah, it was kind of cool. In FCC, I got 3 medals for winning 1 race. So
Banging.
never had that up. Yeah, I've never had that happen before. Got King of the Jungle. I won my age category, and then Division One too. So it was like, yeah, I went up 3 times for winning one race, which I've never had.
Nice. So, Intershirts, is this going to be your first time in Germany? Are you trying to get more toughest firefighter alive scenarios under your belt? Because it will be a different setup again.
So I'm competing in like the FireFit events there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Is there a TFA running too?
Well, Germany has does run a TFA every year, but now that I've said that, I'm quite confident they're not actually running one at Intershirts. I think you're right, and they're staying with, because the thing with the TFA is it takes a lot more to set it up. It's very resource heavy. FireFit is a significantly smaller course, so I think you're right, because I know we've got a couple going over from the UK. I did speak to Hikes, and they were asking me to do one there, but I'm already there with PBI. We're doing like a corporate thing, visiting some factories and doing the thing there. Always trying to wear multiple hats. But will it be your first time to Intershirts?
It will be, yeah, for sure. I never really heard of it until a couple years ago. Yeah. So I've been to Germany a few times, but mostly for Oktoberfest and seeing the sights around there. So it'll be my first time in Germany for just competition.
MSA are supporting us on today's podcast, and I chose to partner with them because I've been wearing this stuff for nearly 20 years, and they are the global leader in development, manufacture, and supply of incredible, safe products that really protect people, not just our communities out there, but also first responders, most importantly, all over the world. Get yourself over to MSA and have a look at it. The high-performance protective clothing for emergency services responders. They also partner with us on the UK Pink Firefighters. It's because we love them. The helmets with the reflective visor, the F1XF, absolutely epic helmet. And not forgetting how they improve firefighter safety through their connectivity in the connected firefighter platform. MSA are always pushing the envelope, and it's a real privilege to be able to continue to grow our partnership together. So whether it's your PPE, your bunker gear, your helmets, your SCBA, your thermal imaging, your Luna, or your portable gas detection, both of us know that this equipment needs to work. It needs to be high quality, reliable, and dependable in the moment. And that's why I use MSA, because they know what's at stake. Have you ever been to FDIC?
Nope.
Have you ever been to any of the big fire sector conferences?
No, not really.
Mate, they're very interesting. I think so. You would like some of the talks because you're a cognitive-y kind of guy. You're a real deep thinker. And there's some super insightful speakers at a lot of these events. FDIC is very famous for it. They record a lot of their talks. Intershirts is very good. Intersec that I went to in Dubai in January. Blue Light Show in UK. All very, very similar in those capacities. So it is going to be the same setup as a standard FireFit course then. So we're assuming you're just going to crush this one in Germany?
It is slightly different. So I went to Poland a few years ago and competed at their European Championships.
Yeah.
The tower is slightly different. Like our hose packs, you can do a full turn, a full rotation going up every single landing. Whereas on the European course, on the backside, as you turn that corner, there's a support beam that your hose will hit. So you have to like lean forward and kind of tilt a little bit more. I think there's a different grade on the tower as well. And the sports flooring is slightly different. So there's some minor differences.
I think they're smaller towers, aren't they? I think they're narrower. That's why you've got less space. Yeah, they've got less space on the landings, and that's why the steps seem a little bit steeper as well. The one that I went on in FireFit in France, very steep stairs. Yeah, very, very steep stairs. To the extent that when I did my stride on it, I caught my foot on the step because they're shorter than I anticipated. Really? It was really annoying. So then I did not loads, but I probably did too much sort of hip flexor work to try and get that upward drive rather than sprint forwards, which is sometimes more of the longer staircases that you see. Certainly out in Saudi, it's a very deep staircase, very deep.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can kind of get away with more speed and less drive. But with Germany one, they're probably going to be narrow ones as well. Who's going over there with you on this one?
You got a whole Canadian crew coming. So Katie Ross, who's she's so impressive. So I have the record for the men's, but by not even 2 full seconds. She has the record for the women's by I think it's 17 seconds. The next closest person to ever do it is 17 seconds slower than her. So her record is 140, and I think it's 157, 156, the next fastest woman to do it. So she's coming.
That is a big difference.
Yeah, big time. It's huge.
That's quite bad for the other people. What's so special about her? Was she an athlete in something else before it, or?
Yeah, she's done everything. She's done bodybuilding, CrossFit, and she like races horses or something. She's just like all over the place. She's a beast.
Nice.
But yeah, no. So her and her partner are coming out. Jordan King's coming. Carla's coming, and yeah, I think that's it for the Canadians. So we're gonna put a relay team in. I'm gonna do tandem with Patrick Steflin again. Yeah, should be a good time.
What are the dates for that? Because I know it's in my diary, but I'll try
I think
and pull it up again.
June 1st to the 6th.
I think it's actually the end of May, isn't it? Well, it is June, but I think the first day of it is first day of the actual intershirts is end of May. Let me just pull it up now because I want to check. This is the 1st to the 6th of June. Oh, I'm heading out at the end of May. Yeah, because the actual thing runs from the 1st until the 6th. Yeah. So, yeah, that makes more sense now because I was wondering why I've got it in my diary as the day before.
It's not 100% confirmed yet, but I think that Jordan King and I will be doing some coaching sessions too on the Sunday and maybe some of the days in the course as well. So if you guys are anybody interested in doing that, contact Daniel of FireFit. I'll set that up. But yeah, we want to just like kind of help bridge the gap a little bit, especially with like the new ownership of FireFit. I think that FireFit Canada and FireFit Europe are going to really start collaborating a lot more and moving forward with that. So I'm excited for that. It'll be a cool opportunity to meet a ton of athletes over there. And selfishly for me to learn some of their techniques too.
There we go. We got FireFit European Championships all over the world. And this one is 1st to the 6th of June. Action and adrenaline. We offered all days of the trade fair. So Monday, Tuesday, anyone aged 16 and over can test the course during the rookie runs or complete their first qualifying heats for the European Championships. Additional qualification heats will take place on the Wednesday and the Thursday. And on the Friday and Saturday, the fastest firefighters in Europe will compete. You in Europe? No. What are you doing then?
Coming over trying to get a part of Europe.
No. So you basically can't qualify. You might as well cancel it, brother. You're not coming over and stealing our sweets again. The fastest firefighters in Europe will complete in the finals and championship titles. On all days, the FireFit course will be open to all interested firefighters from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Outdoor Exhibition Centre. European Championship days, competitions, including the award ceremonies, will continue until 5 p.m. And then we get smashed afterwards. It doesn't say that, actually. So you got the Hikes Tower, 3 floors, 12 meters high, 19 kilo hose pack, which is the same. Hammering machine, not sure that's what it's called, but that's what they put down.
The translation thing.
Hammering machine. And that was used to call you, didn't it, before you were married? 80 kilo dummy. 80 kilo dummy. That's normal, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, in the World Firefighter Games, have you seen the ranges that they're doing those at?
Yeah, they got the TFA A, B, and Elite, right?
It's just confusing. It's a bit confusing. I'm not entirely. We've got John and Andrew coming on for an episode. Let's change gears and talk about that for a second. So the World Firefighter Games 2026. You and I went in 24. Is it 24?
I think so. I think it's 24. Yeah.
I can't remember, mate. I lose track. Well, it wasn't last year, was it? No, it must have been 24.
It wasn't last year. It was the year before. Yeah.
So World Firefighter Games, they take place all over the world, but this specific one is going to be in Saudi Aramco. I'm trying to remember where the other ones have been ran in the past, because I think this is going to be like the 15th or 16th. Let me have a look. So it's the 16th. Like it's the 16th World Firefighter Games. And these have been running for years and years and years. I know John from Australia is a big core element of running these. And this one's going to be in Al Khabar, Saudi Arabia. There's a hell of a lot of events running on it. But the time we did it before, there was only one TFA. But this time they're breaking it up into 3 of them. Do you want to dare try and remember the differences? And I'll test you on them. Which one are you doing?
I think the Elite one. I think Carla wouldn't let me do anything else. I was looking at like the A, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't too bad. I think we can manage this one." And she's like,
"Well, the A is what we did last time, isn't it?
Is it? Is that what it was?
Yeah, the A is the standard TFA rules.
Right.
They've got May Timber in the photos for the elite
Yeah.
one. So what do you think is
Of course.
encompassed within the elite? Let's test you.
I don't know. I can't remember how many lengths of hose it is, but you connect the 65 and run out, let's say, 70 meters of
75.
65,
Close.
75. Roll up
Yeah.
2 hose,
Yeah.
and then that's phase 1. Phase
Uh-huh.
2 is I believe they actually got the hydraulic FireFit force machine now,
The hydraulic piston, yep.
which is going to be way better.
Yeah.
And then, so you do that, and then I think it's 70 meter, 80 kilogram rescue Randy drag.
You've missed one. Got the tunnel.
I thought the tunnel was after the drag.
No, tunnel's before the drag. Don't you remember? Because we did the first one all the way down to the bottom, and then you reset at the top, and you start on the force machine. You run up to the force machine to start,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
go from that with a 20 kilo containers, and you go through the
I think last time we did the dummy first, and then we did the tunnel. I think. Yeah. I think I just watched the video of you and I racing, actually. And I
Okay.
think that
You're
was,
probably right.
I think it was that one. And then after that, and then for the tunnel now, we have to carry 2 foam, 20 kg foam containers through.
Yep.
And then carry it back through, shed the pack, run, do the 3-meter wall climb.
Yep.
I think that's the end of phase 2.
Yep.
And phase 3 is, I think this one's different. You have to like set up a 35-foot ladder.
They've got it down to 6 meter double extension. So 6 meters in feet is, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I think it's 2 meters is about just over 6 foot. So times that by 3. No, it's only a 20 foot. It's not 30 foot.
Okay.
It'll only be 20 foot.
Then.
You don't think you do full extension with it? That's why.
Yeah.
But it's about a 30 kilo ladder in total, and yeah, it's just a throwing it up, and putting it in the grid, same as last time when I spoke to them. What's next?
Then grab 2 20 kg foam containers, carry them to the top of the tower. I think it's 3 floors.
Yep.
And then you hoist up 2 rolls of 65, carry the foam containers back down, set up a blitz fire, good to go, I think.
Yep.
And then we do the tower climb, but I think this one adds 180 meter sprint into the tower climb.
I hate that. Hate's a strong word. I dislike that they've put 180 meter run before ascending the tower, because I'm not a fast runner, but I am fast on the stairs, and that's just gonna really suck. Because I imagine we're going all the way from the other end of the course.
I guess you would probably, yeah.
Because it's a long ass way.
Back. It might be start of the stairs, run to the end of the course and back. I would assume.
Yeah, that might be right, actually.
I don't know.
That's about 90 meters. That's a long ass way, though.
It's going to be really hard to pace myself with Carla yelling at me the entire time, too, and making me feel bad about myself.
You will get people that will, like I say, already be on the second floor when people are still getting back to the tower. When you've got the big lumpies like me, waddling along, rhino style. I can punch up the stairs, fair enough, but I ain't fast in a straight line. And then arguably you could just say, we'll train for it, Pete. You've got till November. But yeah, so there's going to be 10 floors for us to head up. So that's the elite. And then when you look at the A's and the B's, so the only ones that differ. So the A is a 70 kilo dummy, whereas the elite is an 80.
Yeah.
And I think everything else, no, it must be there and back, because the A has only got a 90 meter run at the end of it before you go up the 10 floors. And I think that is the only variation.
The foam container, I think you only carry 1 as well for the tunnel.
Wrong.
Oh, maybe
2 times. Oh no, you're right. Sorry, it says 2 meter tunnel times 2, but then it says 20 kilo sand container times 1. You're absolutely right. I apologize. Yeah, you're going there and back through the tunnel again, but you're just using 1 container this time. And then everything else seems. Yeah, everything else seems exactly the same.
Look at the weights as well. I think it's only 10 kgs for the foam containers going up the tower in phase 3. I read it once. I don't know.
I've got it in front of me, and you've got a better memory than me, because I have read this. We'll put some links underneath if people want to go and find out about this, because I think they can go and still register for it. But the B class is, I've seen a few people do the B in other countries, but I've never done the B, because it's, what do you think the point of it is?
I didn't even read the bead, to be honest. I'm not sure. Maybe my understanding was that it's probably just like an introductory thing, just to get people excited and come to try it out. I'm
Uh,
guessing it's lighter.
yeah, I mean they don't do it in leggings for starters.
Oh, okay.
So they're just doing it so they do it in their tunic and their helmet. They've still got a BA set on, but they're wearing running shoes and or
Mm,
shorts and leggings, which I thought was interesting to put it
yeah.
in one way. Other than that, most of it's the same. It's a 10 kilo. It's only a 50 kilo Ruth Lee dummy. But yeah, it's a weird one to add in. But yeah, so they've got the A, the B, and then they've got the elite as well. Are you doing any of the other things? Have you registered for some of the other events that are over there? Because I think we only got to choose 4, didn't we? Have you sent yours in?
I have. I've sent a couple emails and stuff, but I haven't committed to anything 100% yet. What I think we'll do is like the cook-off, the elite individual relay, the individual event of the elite, and then there's something else too.
You're not going
Oh,
to
the
do the
stair
stair
climb.
run?
The stair climb as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I
killed me
love
last time though. That was so bad.
I know, but that's what I love so much about it. I really liked the stair run. I mean,
Oh,
TFA is definitely the favorite, but stair run is. I just that's where I'm putting. That's where I would put my money on to do better,
really?
because because you guys spend a lot more time, and the setups that you've got for the FireFits and stuff lend
Mm,
you to do more practice on those things. But we
yeah.
have still got an abundance of stairs over
Right.
here, and we haven't got
Sure.
an abundance, but we run stairs on a regular basis. And
Yeah.
it's where I try and spend a lot more of my time. Yeah, I put the cook-off down. Did you do the cook-off last time? Because I didn't do it.
Yeah. Carl and I won it.
Oh, I've totally forgot
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Carl and I won,
Nice.
and then Dave and other Brad got third place, I believe. So we had a pretty good showing. Like to do it again. It was so fun too. It was like just like so much less stress. But the fans, I don't know if you remember the fans. I feel like they weren't that into like the TFA. With the cook-off, they were like banging on the side of the wall. They were
Yeah,
cheering. They were going
yeah,
nuts.
yeah.
And the announcers were so good. It was just so lively. It was awesome.
Well, for people that obviously weren't there, this is like a full. So people will know what Ready Steady Cook is in the UK. It's a TV. I mean, there's cook TV shows all over the place now. It is just like that. There's 4 kitchens set up inside it.
6 kitchens.
6 kitchens. Sorry,
Yeah.
all of the cameras on absolutely everybody. And
Yeah.
do you went a couple of days before and bought all the ingredients? They give you a certain amount.
The morning of, they give you like I forget the equivalent, but it was like maybe $200 of a budget, and you go to like the market, you pick out all the stuff you need. They have somebody there that can help you if you really can't find something. But yeah, you set your menu, and then you have 45 minutes to make your appetizer, 45 minutes for your entree, and then 45 minutes for your dessert. And my interpretation of it, and what we try to do was like a fusion between Canadian food and Saudi food.
Mhm.
And then they have, professional chefs come and do a taste test. And then any excess food you have, you could run and give it to like people in the crowd. So I think that's why
Yeah.
they're so incentivized to be cheering. But
That
it
was
was
the bit
really,
I
really
showed up
cool.
for at the end. I had a couple
Yeah.
of puddings and stuff.
It was cool though. And then they have a guy like washing your dishes for you, and we're kind of chatting with him. And it turns out he's like in a chef program. Like he's studying to be a chef. So he knows infinitely more about cooking than we do. He just has to watch us bumble our way through this. And then he's like cleaning up for us. And I'm like, can you help us? Like cut the salmon and like but
He's standing there
it's not
watching you,
allowed.
smiling,
Yeah,
going, "You
yeah,
morons!
idiots.
You're doing it all wrong." Very
Yeah,
good, sir. Very good.
yeah. No, they were sweet. I mean, as you know, the hospitality in Saudi was like second to none. They
Oh,
took care of
mate.
us so well. I came home and I was like, this was one of the best experiences I think I've ever had.
Firefighters, police officers, and first responders are now stepping into environments wired with more high voltage than ever before. Everything from electric vehicles to solar panels feeding direct current through compromised structures, overhead power lines, and illicit drugs factories with improvised lethal bypasses. Any single strike in the wrong place in this type of environment can turn things fatal very quickly, and that is exactly why we've partnered with Jafco. You already know who Jafco are. They have been relied upon for decades for sturdy, get-the-job-done equipment, and they are not resting on their laurels. They are evolving to face the challenges first responders are handling today through their insulated tool range. These are purpose-built for the scenarios where contact with hidden electrical hazards isn't just possible, it is increasingly likely. Their insulated tools are engineered for real-world abuse and use, designed to keep firefighters, police officers, and all first responders alive in environments where electrification is outpacing policy, equipment, and training. And you know this. This is the kind of innovation our sector needs and the kind of investment organizations should be stepping up to support if we are serious about protecting first responders from fatal consequences. So a massive thank you to Jafco for backing the podcast and backing the crews on the ground. Go check them out, learn what they're doing, and bring that conversation into your service, because this isn't about the future, it's about right now. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was part of my experiences there that led me to do more work out there, and, you know, traveling back to Saudi Arabia. I've been to Dubai again in January. It's just the hospitality, the people there, it's really, really, really incredible, and breaks a lot of probably historical myths that are unfounded that people have associated with that corner of the world, which I'm yet to have any negative experience at all. I thought it was absolutely incredible out there. I see all the other sports that are going on there now as well.
Yeah, in my application form, I put in that if anybody needs a substitute for rugby or something, like throw me in. I'm 100% down.
That's why I was surprised when they said, like, you've only got 4 options, and I was like, but there's loads. I mean, so they've got archery, arm wrestling, badminton. What's balut?
I think that's, I don't know for sure. It's either the card game or like a croquet style game. There's 2 that I wasn't familiar with.
That's not a sport. Baseball, basket. They've got 3-on-3 basketball. I love that they've got 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah,
that's going to be insane. Beach volleyball, billiards, bodybuilding.
Yeah, I'm going to sign Carla up for that. I'm just going to put her name in, and she'll have to show up for it.
Just stop writing people's names down and stuff. Bowling, boxing, the bucket brigade. I've seen one of those competitions before. They're wicked.
Yeah, those are sick.
Cricket, cross country, cycling, darts, dragon boat. I'll tell you, the other one I did put in for was indoor rowing.
Oh yeah, that makes sense for you.
I love indoor rowing. Doing some sprints on that. But yeah, they've got karate, judo. They've got a half marathon, a 5K, and a 10K. Paddle, which I know has just exploded all over the world. Powerlifting. Yeah, you've got the rugby sevens, shooting pistols, soccer, softball. Jesus Christ, there's so much. Considering it's only running from November the 5th to the 13th, it's going to be colossal.
Massive, yeah.
They've got tug of war.
We put a team together?
Yeah, what day is... let me have a quick look. It would have finished. Oh, no. TFA Elite. Yeah, that's on the Thursday. Because the Class A's and B's are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But then the Elite is on the Thursday. Yeah, that's going to be annoying.
I think that's the Elite individual event, though, isn't it? Because I think the TFA Elite for your whole course is there. There's a few days of that. And then I think the individual event is on the Thursday. I could be wrong.
What's the difference? It does say that, which you're just embarrassing me with your like photographic memory. It says, TFA Elite individual stage is on the Thursday.
I think that's where you sign up for one event. So like if I just want to do stage 2, I can just sign up and do compete for the best time of stage 2.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
That's my interpretation of it. I could be totally wrong though.
I think you're right. It just says I need to read things more. But yeah, sorry, the TFA individuals then. Are you going to do a singular event? Do you think you would smash one particular bit?
I don't know. I'll try my best. See what I can do. I'm going to try I think phase 2, when we raced each other, I think our overall time, I just edged you out. But the only event I actually beat you in was stage 2. So
I was so slow on stage 2. Yeah. So, I mean, I got over the wall and everything first time, but you were just so slick through the different disciplines. I was a bit fumbly on the transitions.
Well, that force machine they had to was brutal. I think it took 16 hits to do that force machine. Yeah. So, that was humbling.
You guys are like used to doing the much slicker ones. But yeah, so if that is the case, the Thursday, we might be able to do a tug of war. Tug of war would be hilarious. There's a treasure hunt.
I was just going to say there's a treasure hunt too.
Mate, they're just coming out with some crazy stuff here. What have they got on the last day? They've got soccer. They've got a stair run on the final day. That'll work well because I'm not doing anything on the final day.
I thought the stair run was the first day. What's the first day?
First day. Sorry. So there is a firefighter stair run on the first day, but then on the last day, they've got Oh, right. Okay. So the last day they've got the public stair run, which that seems weird. Fair enough. Sport stair run. Not sure. Is that just generally for everybody then?
Probably, I would
I
assume
don't
so.
know. The building we did it at. So we did it at a
Oh.
totally private building. That was wicked, wasn't it? It was shaped like a weird
Yeah, it was like a
fish.
museum or something. I want to go explore that. That was sick.
Yeah. I really
I
enjoyed
think,
that. I'm really looking forward to doing the stair run one of it. So when you're planning for a season like this, when the problem with having such a stacked season is surely you can't have off season on. I mean, you must be finishing off season now. Are you gonna? How long can you hold
yeah, it's
close
this
to
season's been
good?
difficult to train.
Yeah.
It's rough. So like I think we talked about this last time, but basically it's like as soon as I was done Worlds this year, that was my like off season
Mhm.
where I went back, did a whole bunch of rehab, lost a bunch of weight, just started running again, getting my cardio base back, and then until I'd say middle of January, right before I went to Vietnam, that was like all hypertrophy, VO2 max training, more zone 2 training. And then I went to Vietnam where I just lifted while I was there and then came back. And then that was kind of like where we started doing the bridge of doing more power strength training,
Mhm.
still longer intervals. But now having the TFA at the end of my season, it's like I'm incorporating TFA workouts into my FireFit workouts now. So I'll do FireFit to begin for my tower days. So explosive, little bit longer rest, speed work, and then at the very end of my workout, I'll do like a TFA specific thing. So I'll do like load up the weight, get the foam containers, run up the tower, do a heavier rope hoist, run back down, and then like take 5-10 minute rest, and then do like the zone 2 or the phase 4. So go
Are you
for a
not
big run.
concerned that's going to make you slower for the FireFit though? Because TFA is just such a longer event.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that right now, if I can just get some of the technique stuff down and then like train while fatigued for doing these different phases, I hope that it'll translate well to both. That I'll have a bigger engine and more capacity to train for FireFit specifically for those events, but then also have a bigger base and stuff to draw from. Also, it makes my workout significantly harder. So then when I do a FireFit event and actually run an individual, it doesn't feel that hard relative to my training. So the
True.
mental aspect is nice. Yeah.
Hope. That's a good strategy. I think hope should work. I mean, I hope it's going to work now. I'm sure. I think when it gets to your level, it's I have no basis on which to advise. When you look forward like 10 years from how much this is expanding and expanding, even just locally here in the UK, do you think it will get to a point where it's strange for firefighters not to train like this?
That would be awesome. I love that idea. But like there's so much other stuff online too that I see like firefight. My algorithm is just like has totally swapped over to like just being firefighter fitness things. You see tons of guys on shift doing like all types of different functional workouts, like in gear and stuff. And I don't think that's like maybe it is a little bit from FireFit or FCL and like TFAs, people like seeing us train like that, and then so it's bleeding into like just station training.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just like at the end of the day, like what I really want to be good at is my job. So if all this stuff bleeds over to me being better at my job and I can bring my crew out and train with me for this stuff, I think it's just raising the standard for everybody. And I think it's the direction that we should be at. And we should be holding ourselves to this level regardless of the time of the year, regardless of where you are in your season. Like you should be able to compete and perform at a very high level. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that it does get better and the sports do grow. I think that in Canada specifically, like Dale and Hillary have owned FireFit for the past 30 years, and they've done such an amazing job of they built this up from nothing, and they've built an amazing community, family, and like all this stuff. And then now with the new ownership coming in, they're keeping Dale and Hillary because they realize what assets they are and how foundational they are for the sport. But there's a whole bunch of new energy, a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline that it's just going to be growing and getting better and bigger. And yeah, some pretty cool things are coming. So I'm very, very excited for it. And I think you're right. I think it's going to keep growing and getting bigger. And yeah, especially with the stuff you guys have in the UK, like you guys have built that up in the past 10 years and just look how big it is now.
It's significantly more in its infancy here. I think that's what makes it so exciting to be part of it now. This sort of trend has continued to the point where we're at now, where it's almost become busy enough to train for it as a full-time sport, similar to what you guys and girls have had for, like you say, 15 years at least. I mean, like you said, they've been doing it for 30 years, but it doesn't necessarily mean the sport was as big as that 30 years ago. But certainly in the last 15, it's been like a staple. You could spend your whole year traveling around state to state, country to country, carrying out FireFit competitions. But for us here, it's probably the first time, this year that we'll have that challenge series, which is strange and surreal. But I think hopefully that's why we're seeing more people from the UK step out into these international stages.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to expose yourself to, not being that big fish in a small pond, seeing what's truly capable. That's why I'd love to get you over here. So we've had a couple of internationals. I've had the Estonians coming for years. Then, like I've said a couple of times already, we had Duarte and a few others come last year. And it really does just reframe your mindset of what's truly possible with it. What's kind of, you often have like mental themes running in the back of your mind that I think you probably hook onto or lean onto, or things that sort of guide you. What is one of the core ones that's been coming through for you this year? Because you're trying to achieve things probably on a scale and a frequency that you've probably not done before, because you've done them at this scale arguably before, but the frequency that you're trying to cram into all of this is a heavy lift, really.
Yeah. The underlying like kind of philosophy or I guess theme I'm living with right now, and it comes from FireFit, but it also comes from my kids. It's just like really cherishing the mundane, like just the day-to-day stuff. Like finding the value and just like, playing with my kids, or just like prepping dinner and that kind of stuff, is like really holding on to those moments. Because I don't know if you have this with your phone that gives you like updates of a year ago, and you can like see pictures and like the amount that my kids are growing is just like insane. It's mind boggling. And the fact that like I'm also having all the success on the course is like, I know it's fleeting and it's not going to be here forever. So it's like every training session, my body feels good. I'm able to go and perform there. It's like with my friends, like my best friends I'm doing this stuff with, it's just like really trying to savor that and hold on to it. Because I don't want to be that guy that looks back in 10 years and just like blew by all these like great wins and great like times with these people and not value it in the moment. So I'm really just trying to slow down and be present for everything.
How much do you think that flips into how is that a performance enhancer? Like, have you had moments where nothing's particularly might have changed physically, but everything changes mentally because of perhaps a shift in perception?
I don't know. There's that quote where it's like, if you do something you love, you're always going to outperform people that do it for work. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're showing up and you're going to the course with like, I go with the Edmonton guys and Strathcona team will come out. And we have people all over the region that come train with us. And it's like, when I show up there, it's just fun. Like I want to be there. I want to be like pushing with my friends. And you see some people that come out, they're only coming for a season or two, and it seems like they really have to talk themselves into it. It's like, and they look for any excuse to kind of drop out and not come to training. Whereas for me, it's like, I can't wait to get off shift. Like, even if it's after a rough ambulance night shift or something, it's like, I'm still going to the tavern to train because that's what I want to do. It's not something I have to do. Or something I get to do. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I like to think about that when I think about the podcast as well, because I'm probably a terrible businessman in the same perspective, because we're accidentally, unconsciously competing against media outlets, which I never really thought of us as being one of those. But it's back to that. There is no competition because you won't beat someone that's doing it for free. Do you know what I mean? They're doing it because the love of doing it, and they're going to keep doing it. And that's a much easier thing to plug into rather than relying on motivation or inspiration to show up, or a financial gain or whatever. Doing it for the joy of doing it. And also, I think one of the things you sent over is joy is whatever's happening now minus your opinion of it. So the story you're telling yourself about it is sometimes lean it either way, I suppose.
I 100% agree. I mean, like, in our job, we see so many people that don't have the physical capacity to live day-to-day life, or like just do the things they want to. And we're in this incredibly blessed position that we get these opportunities to do these things. And I get to represent my department. I get to represent my country in all these different places. And I get to do it with the people that I love. And yeah, I'm supported with my family, my friends, and yeah, just incredibly grateful for it. And something that happened when I broke 110 for the first time is like I had a conversation with somebody and a well-respected guy in the sport, and he's like, "You'll get the hangover where like after 3 days, you'd be like, oh, I thought there'd be more than this." And
Mhm.
I didn't have that at all. Like hitting 109 was my goal for so long that I was just so stoked about it that I was just like living in that joy for yeah weeks afterwards. It was to the point where like once I broke my own record and got 108, I didn't. It wasn't as awesome as breaking the 110 for the first time,
Yeah.
but it was still like incredible experience. So yeah, I don't know.
No, you're exactly right. It's you hear business owners say like your first million feels the best because the
Mm,
second one was just like once you'd broken that ceiling of it, you've already done what you thought was impossible.
yeah.
So you almost you didn't. It wasn't easy, but you flowed through the next one with less pressure. You see this
Yeah.
a lot with lifting because there's so many numbers involved, similar to sprinting actually, but like 500 kilo deadlift. Do you know, I remember the
Yeah.
first time I picked up, 260 kilos and it's whatever, six plates aside. And you go, this is massive.
Yeah.
260 was so much harder than 300, even though it was an
Mm,
additional plate, because I'd built it in my mind for so long. You
yeah.
almost became scared of it. You know what I mean? You became scared of the weight. You just putting on a marginal gain of a plate. You throw up 255 or whatever, not throw it up, but you lift it so easy,
Yeah.
and how easy it was doesn't make sense of how much harder 5 kilos more was, if that
Right.
makes any sense. But it's
Yeah,
such a
absolutely.
mental blocker.
Yeah.
You know, that's why sometimes when you're doing lifting, as an example, it's many years since I've done anything like that at all. But getting other people to load it for you, because that's sometimes a way of breaking through barriers.
Mm,
You tell them
yeah.
not to hurt you, obviously, and you tell them where you're at and what you're aiming for the day. But they can build you up in better steps and sometimes help
Mm,
you blow straight through a barrier that you didn't even realize was there. How do you continue to expose yourself to higher and higher platforms like this and still sort of manage the ego?
mm,
Because I'm very, very interested in that side of it, because I think it's where a lot of people trip. I think you shared one where it was like egos trip, but the humble don't stumble. And I
yeah.
thought that was a really, really nice way of hooking it and remembering it. It's something I'm certainly going to keep at the front of my mind. Quick pause, because I want to tell you about a new partnership we have with First Tactical. First Tactical builds equipment for people who work when environments are seriously unforgiving. And if you go to their website, you'll find kit is designed specifically for us, for firefighters, for police officers, technical rescue teams, fire investigation, hazmat, hazardous materials teams, urban search and rescue. This is honestly the equipment that you really want to rely on. It's built for real operations, real pressure, long ass days, and I genuinely use this stuff. Here's a few of my favorites. They've got their men's Defender short sleeve. I've got that in black. It's got a huge load of specialized pockets, space for all of our gears, the pads, the pens, all of the stuff. It's got them on the sleeves on both sides. Also got the Defender pants. These have got 28 pockets in total on them. It's mad. Let's be honest, we absolutely love the bags. I use their 25-litre specialist half-day backpack. The shoulder straps as well are strong AF. Like I say, this isn't lifestyle gear. It's built for real world, real operations. We talk about the realities of the job, and First Tactical is just the ideal partnership for us. So go take a look, firsttactical.co.uk. Now back to the show.
Yeah. I think it's just like, it's going to sound weird, but like sometimes I don't even believe that I could do it. Like when I was lining up for the final race at Worlds this year, I was racing against this guy from Lithuania. He's like an absolute stud of an athlete. He's like 6'8" and probably like 255 pounds, just like shredded though. He's a monster. His rope
Jesus.
pull, he does the rope pull, and I think 6 or 7 pulls. And my best rope pull on the American course is like 10 or 11. So I went into that race, was like, oh, this guy's probably gonna smoke me, but Jordan King and I came up with like a strategy for it. And this guy's so tall, so explosive that I knew he's gonna beat me on the up and the pull for sure. There's no way I can keep up to him there. But I just had strategies like I know that I'm quick on the down. I know my cones are good. So my plan is to catch up to him by the hose and then just like transitions. So I'm gonna do quick transitions and hopefully that will get me ahead. I ended up touching the dummy before him, and then we were pretty close and he had a stumble, he fell, and I ended up pulling away and winning. But before that race, Jake Lanier, like the best American guy, he had run a 118 on the day, and this is in Dallas, and the course is eating everybody up because the hose pole is on the concrete. So whatever like parking lot they pick, it's super variable for how hard the course is going to be. And this course, the concrete was like a really rough concrete. And so like the grip on that thing was just nasty. So it was eating everybody up. So I was like, Jake ran a 118 right before we raced. And I was like, oh, okay, I can get close to that, I think. And in my mind, I was like, I'm probably not going to win this thing, but I'm just going to try my best and stick to the game plan and see what happens. And then I was like, if I get third place, I'll be happy with that. I mean, I had a good FireFit season, and I kind of like making all these excuses in my head of why I wasn't going to win. And I was like, that's fine. And then so I lined up, and I was like, we got a game plan, let's just do it. And then everything kind of fell into place. And like I got super lucky when I dropped the hammer, it has to land within a small square. And I dropped the hammer like it would in FireFit, and it rolled a lot more than it normally would. But it happened that I jumped over it. It hit my ankle and bounced back into the square. So it saved me from a 2-second penalty. And so yeah, I just got super lucky, and having a bit of a game plan going into it was super helpful. And then at the very end, like the cameraman. So going into that race, everybody thought Lucas is going to win because he had the best time by 5 seconds going into that race.
Okay.
So the cameraman was just following him around. The announcer didn't really mention me at all. I was like, whatever, it is what it is. And then, yeah, I ended up winning, and I was just like so shocked by that. But then the cameraman was following me, and I didn't look like I was super stoked. But you see, like in the crowd, all the people watching, and like all my friends that were training there with me, and they were like so amped up. And then so I go over to give them a big hug, and my legs are like jello, and they're like pulling me into the stand stuff. It was just like it was my favorite part was seeing the videos afterwards of like how much my friends and family were just like stoked for me to win.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I think it was just like seeing like how happy it made everybody else was like so humbling and like so grounding for me. And then another thing too is like when I broke that record the first time, the first thing my kid said to me after like they came to congratulate, my family came, and my 3-year-old was like, "Cool, that was a good race, Dad. Can we go to the bouncy castle now?" I was just like, yeah, just the sport is amazing. I love it, but it's not like the most important thing in the world.
What do you think? I mean, they're very young still, but what do you think they take away from seeing you do hard things? I've heard you say before the purpose of life is to carry as heavy load as possible. What does that mean?
I think to me, that's the same thing that you were saying about like living more than other people, like living as much as you possibly can and taking on as much as you can, but also handling it well too and compose. So kind of like the way I see the role as the dad in the house is that people don't have to worry about you. You know, they can go live their lives and they'll always have like a stable, solid dad that can take care of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that builds a lot of foundation, a lot of, I guess, confidence for them to be able to make mistakes and push it and try difficult things because they see that you're able to do those things without complaining about it, without like, you know, dreading going to the tower and putting the work in. I bring my son to the tower all the time, and he like sees all the work we do. And like he'll come up there and do like the rope pull with us and like reset and do all that stuff. So it like, I don't know. I think like having them involved in it and showing them the work that you're putting in makes them realize that, yeah, I can achieve cool things too, but I do have to do the work. And Emmett's going to come with me to Germany this year, and he's going to like see like all the coaching that we'll be doing and all like the warm up and the training and like the dedication we put into it. So I think it'll be like a valuable learning experience for him, because I think that's more interesting to them and gives them a better example than if I was just like all invested in like, you know, making sure he's doing all his sporting stuff, which he is, but I'm trying to be that role model for him to see it. And my wife is the same way. She played Div 1 soccer. Like she's a very like athletic person as well. And even after having 2 kids while she was pregnant, she was still training hard. She was still going to the gym, putting the work in. And they get to see it from both of us, which I think is kind of cool.
Is this still hard for you? Because we say, you know, it's, you know, we get inspiration from seeing people do hard things. You've been doing this a long time. Is it as hard now as it used to be? And that doesn't mean it's easy, but is it still hard? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. Like, especially when I'm talking about the training that I'm doing, where it's like, we'll do a full FireFit workout and then add a TFA event to the end of it. We make it as hard as we want to make it to make the actual competition seem easier, if that makes sense.
Define hard for me. Help me, and I might be fishing for something here that I'm not going to find. But like, if you look at it where people first get into trying to get healthier, I think it's a lot hard for someone that has never, or hasn't been in a gym for 10 years or hasn't done it. It's harder for them, not necessarily physically. We both might be put in the same, but there's more than just the physical effort to do it. Because like you said, when you finish shift, you don't have, you can't wait to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So getting there and making yourself do it isn't hard because you already want to do it. The training that you do while you're there may be very hard, but I'm just trying. So I used to do a lot of physical. Yeah, because I used to do a load of, and I still do a load of physical stuff. Like all I used to do was physical stuff. And then when I started doing some other stuff, academic stuff, this kind of stuff, it was really hard for me because I was really crap at it. Like, and I felt stupid, and it was just, it would have been so much easier not to bother and just stay in the physical world. And I'm trying to tiptoe my way through this because, you know, and anyone listening, that, you know, I love you emphatically. But what is hard? Because like, if we try to inspire our kids to say, I want to inspire you to do something hard, doing something they're already really good at wouldn't necessarily be as hard for them as trying to encourage them something they've never done before. It's a different kind of hard. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
What is hard for you now? What would be really hard?
Well, like we were talking about earlier, it's like it's hard for me to go and like seek out sponsorship because I feel like maybe it's just like a self-perception thing where it's like I don't feel like me going to a business and being like, hey, will you give me money to go like represent your brand? It's like they probably don't want to. They'd probably find somebody else better to do that or be a better ambassador for them or something.
And what's the internal story you're telling yourself that makes you stop doing that then?
I'm not sure. I think it's just like...
Why are you not worthy of it? If not you, then who, for Christ's sake?
Yeah, well, it's just like even prior to a race when I'm lining up against somebody like Lucas or Rafael Bereza or like Jake Lanier, like these guys that are beasts, I always like in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're going to beat me for sure. Or like, I don't have the same whatever they have. And I think part of that is what I use for motivation for those really tough days that I'm training really hard, or like if I do have a lack of motivation or we're getting like really late in the season and I've already been training for this for 6 months and it's just like I'm getting this hip pains or like the back pain or whatever it is. It's like I got to push through, got to keep going. I use those guys as energy because I know that they're not taking time off. So I think it's just like a mental block that I have where I never see myself as being the best. I always see myself as chasing that or being the underdog in a way. And it's the same way when like people are asking me for like coaching advice or
that's what I'm saying. It's taking you this long to do the coaching thing. Why?
Yeah, or me trying to monetize it. It's like, well, yeah, I have the education and I have like the experience of doing it. It's just like maybe I just don't value myself as much as like my resume would suggest.
What is that then? Is it I don't feel big enough? I don't want to be seen as asking. I don't know what I actually offer. You know, that's a value perception problem of yourself.
Yeah.
If your kids felt that way about themselves, you'd be hyping the hell out of them. You'd be like, no, gee, please, baby. You know, when we were kids, we used to kiss the mirror. I mean, I still kiss the mirror, but you know, like we kiss the mirror and we'd high five it. We'd think, and then the world gets into our head and says, who do you think you are? You know, why do we do that to ourselves? Do you think sometimes we wait until we're ready instead of realizing we're already in a position to be ready? It's back to that mental blocker that you were kind of talking about earlier, but mental blocker to make yourself try harder is different to a mental blocker that helps you realize your value.
I think it kind of comes to like, I didn't really resonate with people like athletes on TV or whatever. They're super boisterous and like projecting this like level of confidence and stuff. And it's like, that doesn't like resonate with me in a lot of ways. So
we know people like that.
Yeah, for sure. But and that's great for them. If it's the fuel they need to keep going, it's cool. But like I've been always in the mindset of like you should spend, you know, for example, my kid is in the phase right now where we're trying to build his ego. We're trying to build him up. And then I think once you get to a certain age and you've accomplished some things, it's more interesting to try to dissolve that ego a little bit and go back to basics and foundations. And I think that if you overinflate your own value, then I don't know. Like this is me really not selling myself because I know
people won't know. We didn't anticipate talking about this bit at all. This is why I want to not keep forcing, but I want to keep pushing this
Yeah.
because so different angle may be helpful. Men that were told to not be creeps in the gym because women are worried about being sexually harassed. The people that
Mm,
listened to that are people like you and me who already weren't committing sexual harassment. And the
yeah.
people that should have learned from it didn't hear it. And the people that didn't need to learn it just became more and more timid. And then that led to
Mm,
women being like, why aren't all the nice men approaching me? Because they were scared of looking like a creep, so they didn't do it. You
yeah.
saying sometimes when you get a lot of success, you have to manage your ego. I don't think you ever let your ego grow too much. So people that are told, hey, bro, manage your ego a little bit, who the hell do you think you are? They're not even listening. But the people that are listening are the people like you whose ego maybe never grew enough. And I think a lot of people don't miss out on those opportunities because they're not good enough. They miss out on them because they never even asked. Shy kids
Mm,
don't get sweets. And I
yeah.
feel like you should have had a lot more sweets, not because you're a greedy little boy,
Yeah.
because you've done it. Do you know what I mean? You've been there. You're not promising, say, hey, somebody sponsor me because I think one day I'm going to be a great FireFit champion. You're like, I've done it. You've almost got way too much value before you've asked for a small bit
Mm,
of reciprocity. Does that make sense? Well, it sounds like I'm
I
blowing
guess so.
smoke up your ass, but like
Oh, I appreciate it. No, no, it's
no,
nice.
no, no, no,
But
no. But like, you know what I mean? I
I
just
think it's
feel
also
like,
like, I wonder if I'll like, maybe it's because like I've gotten this far thinking like this and have this mentality that if I change the way I think about, like, or the way I approach the sport or approach my value in it, then it'll take away some of that drive. And maybe that's my biggest fear is like not having that underdog
yeah.
feeling, trying to push it. I don't know. And also, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like who I am. I don't want to be
No,
be
no,
that
no, no.
cocky
I'm
guy.
not saying change. I'm not saying change at all. But I just think like if the bar for these things, winning world records, breaking records, ambassador roles, competing globally, if you're not worthy, then the bar literally can't exist, surely. Because like if the bar isn't a bit behind you, must be a bar that people are trying to reach. But if you're not even thinking you're at the bar, where is it? Do you know what I mean? I think it's more of a reframe of not am I worthy, but is it am I willing to step into because like this the coaching and stuff that you're doing now, absolutely. But if someone has said to you 5 years ago, dude, I'd love you to give me some coaching. Man, I'm just trying to learn it myself.
Hmm.
There's almost unconsciously starving them of
Hmm.
the great, like all the advice because you're at step 98 trying to get to 143 thinking you can't teach anybody stuff that are on step 20. Do you know what I mean? There's so much and that's why you're obviously doing it. You started doing this coaching, but I imagine someone had to convince you to do it and you're doing it alongside other people,
Yeah, for
which
sure.
kind of softens the ego of, hey, this is Brad's world record course. You know what I mean? That's not what you're saying, but
Yeah.
yeah, I wish some of my friends like you could see yourself through my eyes because Jesus Christ, like
Well, I appreciate that, man. I mean, it's something I'm working on, I guess. But
I
yeah,
just
I
I
don't
just
know.
love hearing you squirm. That's all.
Yeah, honestly, it's like the most
I mean,
uncomfortable.
yeah,
I feel like
like
I'm in therapy right now.
let's get the hell away from this topic, Pete. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Pay you? I mean, I'm fine. I'll do anything. Let's just move the hell away from this. So,
Yeah, I
what
know.
what what is the next? We've unpicked this year quite a lot. What do you think the sport looks like in the next couple of years? Because you are the sort of person that's probably having conversation and advising, or at least in the circles of the people that are shaping the next 5 to 10 years of this sector. Where does it go from here?
I'm very optimistic about the future of the sport for sure. I think that like I can't say too much, but I think in the off season there's going to be some pretty big things happening. I think that with the new ownership, I think that you'll see not only a lot more events, but a lot more events for like departments, but also for schools and stuff. And like the newer generation coming up is going to have a great uh, fertile ground to really become like the athletes that they're going to want to be and their full potential be realized. There's gonna be a lot more information out there. Like Katie and I have been releasing a coaching series on the Instagram for the FireFit page of
Mhm.
like every single individual event. We're breaking down and showing you like the steps that we go through, things that we're thinking about. So I think as an athlete coming into it, as like 18 or 19, 20-year-old can see those videos and start on the right foot instead of trying to have to figure out for themselves.
Mhm.
Also, there's going to be a lot more opportunities for Katie, myself. Jordan King has some amazing resources online for just like developing yourself and getting yourself to a point where that you can step on that course, and a sub 120 is going to be very realistic for people that have an athletic background. Whereas when I got on,
Mm.
it was like 120 was like, you're never going to hit that. That's like that maybe 10 people in the world could do that. It's insane. So I think
Yeah.
that we have like the resources now, we have the drive and the energy that's coming into the sport. It's just gonna be growing like crazy. And then yeah, I think it's just like organizationally, it's gonna be a lot better. Having a 365 course set up in Texas where people can go and train regardless of the time of year is gonna be huge.
Mm.
Um yeah, I'm just like endlessly optimistic for where the sport's going.
I think the sport is only heading in one very, very, very clear direction. But as you're mid to late 30s now, like I think those
Mid-30s.
next chapters will be, yeah, those next chapters will be especially more interesting for you because what we've not necessarily seen is as many competitors heading into those 40s, 50s, 60s. The sort of cohorts tend to get quite thin. What's some of the stuff that you think you're doing now that, like, what's something that the 80-year-old you would thank you for doing right now? Because like the WFI is a good example. You guys have clearly got your finger on the pulse of longevity. What do you think are some of the core things that the 60, 70-year-old, 80-year-old version of you would thank you for doing now?
I think like just investing in the future. Like I'm always thinking about like what retirement looks like in terms of like financially being set up for that, but then also like physically and like what other routes I can go down that'll be less harmful. Not harmful, but like I'm pushing it really, really hard right now, putting a lot of like
Mhm.
time on the tower. Like my joints are definitely feeling the effects of it a bit. So I think that I have like plans to transition more into, yeah, maybe a coaching role, but then also like personally getting more into like things like yoga or like things like that are a bit more sustainable for the long term.
Mhm.
Um, and then also like
Crypto.
the yeah, definitely big,
Sorry,
big crypto bro over
can't
here.
can't help myself. Carry on. Sorry.
Um, but yeah, also just like really investing in like friendships and like relationships with people so that eventually when I do take a step back from FireFit, I still have a great core group of friends at the fire department. And then outside of that, outside of work as well. And then investing in like mental health as well. This year I took on a challenge to meditate every single day. And so far I've missed 2 days when I was traveling.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that was my goal. And so far it's been going really, really well. And I think just doing like little challenges like that that are totally separate from the sport, separate from my main drive right now, I think will
Mhm.
pay dividends. And even the thing like just really cherishing every moment I can with my kids, putting the phone away, just like being focused on like in the moment of just, pushing them on the swings or doing like little
Mm.
seemingly unimportant things and like valuing it, not thinking about the next thing I have to do in the day. I think really spending that time and trying to live in like what essentially are my prime years for the moment
Mm.
while still
Mm.
having an eye on the future is going to be what will hopefully pay dividends in the future.
Yeah. There's one that I regularly try and remind myself when things hurt or things ache is you are the youngest you're ever going to be.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. 100%.
You know, the 60-year-old you would probably trade 80% of their entire wealth and assets to swap places with you right
Yeah.
now.
100%.
You are
Yeah. Well,
you
it's like
are
that.
you're in the sweet spot. You're in the prime.
Yeah.
You're living in the golden years.
It's
You
never
know,
going to get better than it is right now.
it's never
So
going
I
to get
just try
better,
to keep remembering that.
mate. I love you so much. I really, really love
Think
you,
about it.
and I mean that. You know what I mean? I don't say it as a castaway comment. What did I say to you yesterday in a message? I can't remember. It was something around, you make me a better person. Some of the reframing, some of the insights, some of the random hellos. You sent me the goddamn patches, the other week, just stuff like that. I'm just like, part of it's a guilt and part of it's a privilege. as in you make me do more things like that. And I
Mm.
think that's the whole pay it forward thing. Like when people like you do a really nice thing for me, and you don't like, buy me lunch or something random, or, but just something that matters to the person that will brighten their day. And then I'll like go off and do 2 or 3 more things like that. I think that's how we make the world a better place. Do you know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And like,
Yeah.
it's coming from you. You do so much for the community already. Like all the podcasts you do, all the awareness you raise, all like the stuff that you do is so selfless. So it's just like as a kind little gesture that I could do for you. I mean, the least we can do for each other. And it just carries on to every other aspect of your life as well.
Do you know why I think that is? I'll share something really personal before we close. I nearly got upset just then, actually, just thinking about it. I get really worried I'm a bad guy. I think when I went through recovery when I was a lot younger, I always worry I'm a bad person somehow. I don't know why I think that. And it really upsets me. It really worries me sometimes that, trying to move forward and trying to do different things with different people, I get worried about leaving other people behind. I get worried about upsetting people. I fucking really struggle to sleep with it sometimes. And then when I have upset someone, like accidentally, if like I didn't tell them something was going on or there was an event and I'd forgot to tell them and they didn't feel like they'd been invited or been included, I feel really bad about it. I feel like a really bad guy. And I don't know why that. I think in theory that leads you to do lots of good things, but I don't know if it comes from a good place, but I don't know if it comes from a healthy place sometimes. And I think that's just because in the really formative years, I was doing stuff that in retrospect, I really regret, but they're like baked into the concrete of who you are. Like, oh no, you're the guy that bought drugs. You're the guy that took a lot of drugs. You're the guy that, lied to a lot of people about the drugs that you were taking. That's who you are. So all this bullshit is just performative. And you can go, oh, well, you were a different person then. You were really young. You didn't know what you were doing. And all of that is true. But once it's in the concrete, it's really hard to get out of it.
Well, it's the story you've been telling yourself for so many years, right? And like the story that you tell yourself becomes who you are. And then you're also judging yourself because you have the inside knowledge of like what you're actually thinking as you go through those processes. And like I see you, and I've only known you the past couple of years, right? So I only see this version of you, whereas you have all that other history and baggage attached to that, and you can't separate that from yourself. Whereas like I see all the good. I've never seen you do anything negative or bad or malicious or anything like that. So I don't have that perception at all of you. I just have a jacked superhuman being, and I look up to you that does all those altruistic things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've never done anything malicious, but like when I got divorced, God, this is a solid point to finish on. But like it was so upsetting. And even though, it wasn't there's nothing bad, like no one cheated on anybody or anything like it just fell out of love. But it was so upsetting for the people around me, and I just couldn't be part of it anymore. So I decided that was enough. But it was so, even though like, my mom, my sister, whatever, we're all like, oh no, it's the right thing to do. And, you'll both be happier at the end of it. It was just so upsetting for everybody, everybody. And it was your decision. Like you decided enough was enough. Someone had to pull the ripcord on this thing. But yeah, stuff like that. I suppose that triggered it all again. Where I was like, yeah, look, you see, you're a terrible person. Look how much you've made that person cry.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll finish on that one, shall we?
I think now we need to actually log in and have a therapy session with a therapist.
Well, there's a 20 minutes of editing from the last. Yeah, that was going so well, Pete. And then what was the car crash at the end? Like,
no, this is like something that's super valuable too, because if we only show the highlight reel all the time, then people just assume that you're this, a fake Instagram version of yourself. This is the real shit that actually matters. That makes, by somebody like you that's like ultra masculine, and you have all these like super, I don't know, like all the positive masculine traits, to have that vulnerability and to be able to open up like that, it gives space for other people that don't see themselves as being as accomplished as you are. That they, okay, these feelings that I'm having are valid. And like even a guy like Pete can feel like this. So it's okay that I'm feeling down in the dumps right now.
Oh yeah, me, but also more like you. And that's why I probably said it again yesterday. It's like, I love speaking to you, because I feel like we try to give each other space for stuff like this that we feel is important. And it's not always a performative, oh God, what product are they promoting today? Oh God, this business, is that because he's been paid to promote this bit? I'm like, I don't really care about any of that. I'd love to have more of this kind of conversation all of the time. It's not that I don't enjoy the other stuff, but that's why I like to make space for this, because it's so, like, there's lots of like researchers, academics and companies and stuff that we've had to kick further down the line, and you could always cancel anything. And you'd so lovely, you'd be like, oh bro, no worries, yeah, you've got something else on. But I'm like, no, I really want to speak to Brad. I want to speak to Brad like all the goddamn time, you know, like last week would have been nice. And but that's why this is so, it's really important to me. And I really, really appreciate you. I really appreciate Carla and the family. And yeah, man, you make me such a better person. I love having people like you around me. You're very kind to me, off Insta, whatever crap, off the podcast. And I really appreciate you. And I'm so excited to see you in Intershots, see how amazing everybody is. So at least will maybe push me a little bit more, because then I'll be back on the course with you in November, trying to vaguely look from a distance like I'm in the same realm.
Come on.
Don't do that thing, mate, because like I've got
I know what you're doing. You do the same thing to me before our last race, and then you beat me.
You beat me on the last race. So
but you beat me in the 3 other ones. So.
Yeah, well,
it's the overall time.
I want to at least be standing next to you guys, looking like I belong on the same course. So I'm really looking forward to it. And it's all masked up as an excuse to spend time with really, really incredible people. So I look forward to seeing you all out there really, really soon, brother. I love you so much. And I can't wait to see you.
I love you too, man. I really appreciate this.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Hope you took a lot away from that episode. We started the Firefighters podcast to develop, inspire, connect, motivate, represent, and most importantly, celebrate the world of incredible emergency services operators and the wider sector through this series of wide-ranging conversations. We really love creating this podcast and bringing it to so many people. Did you know you can also find these on YouTube? We do a lot of video podcasts now. You can head over to our YouTube page and follow, subscribe there. And as a final ask from us, whatever platform you're on, please rate the podcast. It really helps us as a key performance indicator to reach more and more people. I've been your host, Pete Wakefield. This has been the Firefighters Podcast. And wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be happy, and where possible, please remember and support your firefighters and first responders. I'll see you next time.